Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, January 1st, 2020. Happy New Year. About 10 a.m. here. I see prices of BTC currently at 72.03. It looks like we had a quick drop down to 71.20 and spiked back up about $80. But first, I wanted to go from the higher time frames and show you guys exactly what we've sort of accomplished this year in terms of Bitcoin, and then I'm going to go over some of the majors like Litecoin and Ethereum, and maybe some BNB as well. Okay, so let's get to it. All right. So I pulled up a customized chart of the 12-month time frame, and we're going to go to the BLX chart because it's a little bit more clear. All right, so here are each of the candles that represent 1 year. Okay, so this is starting from 2010, 11, 12, and so on, right? So this is kind of how BTC looks. Okay, it's well positioned basically right now to keep going up essentially. Okay, because I don't see anything in terms of a trend shift in terms of the yearly chart. Okay, now let's go down to the 3-month chart. Okay, so here's the 3-month chart. All right. So again, each of these candles represents 3 months. All right. One interesting thing to note about this chart is that the last 2018 bear market, we got maybe a good 3-month candle that was very bear or very bullish, right? And then we had basically the subsequent 6 months that was the downtrend. Okay, that we saw that 13.9k top, and then we came back all the way down to about 6.4k. All right. So now here's something else that's interesting on the 1-month chart is that historically, tops and bottoms are found in Bitcoin specifically around the December January timeframe. Okay, so over here you could see November was the bottom. December we started a new bull run in 2011. Okay, over here December was basically the top right here, and then we broke down for a good year and then found a bottom around January right here 2015, and then we kept going up and up and up, and we found a top around December 2017 and then broke down all the way and found a bottom right around December or January 2018. Okay, well, December 2018, January 2019. And then now, as you can see, okay, in the middle, we found a top in June 2019, but now the question is, have we found that bottom in December 2019? Well, historically, you could see many times that this has been the case for Bitcoin, and I would kind of figure that we're fairly close to the bottom. That doesn't mean we can't drop down quick right away and then reprocess the uptrend in say in the matter of a month, because Bitcoin has done that before. It's become very volatile in 1 month, and then it starts taking off within the next month or even the second half of the month. Okay. So the point is, I wanted to show you that chart to just understand where we are in terms of Bitcoin. I still do think that we have a long ways to go. Whether it's prices breaking down further, so you can potentially buy more, or you can long the asset, or prices that are going to go up, maybe take out this local high around 13.9k, and then maybe retry that the 20k high in 2017. Okay. Point is, there are a ton of opportunities, and in our community, we provide these opportunities in terms of trading as much as we can. All right. So again, if you're not part of the Cryptosomniac community, this is a new year. I hope you treat yourself to good community members. Learn technicals, learn how to trade properly, actually understand what's going on in this market, and stop losing money in this market, because honestly, there's a ton of money to be made. Okay. So here we go. All right, so 30-minute time frame. All right, so basically what we see, like I said, we see a breakdown, to the downside around 71.20 or so, and then pick back up around $7,200. But remember that I explained that there's some key SR levels that you should be looking for. Just look at the greens and the reds all around. Okay, we range traded, from here for a long, closed up here, and then we opened a short right here, and we closed some of it down here. And we're still actually holding some of that short over here. Okay, and then I also have a swing long way from over here, this consolidation period right here. So even then, I'm sitting in both profit from my long from over here. Okay, so that's a good 4.5%, right? And in terms of 10x leverage, that's about 45% gain, even if I closed it right now. Okay, um, and then my short, I've been sitting in it since like 74.50. So even then, I'm sitting in a nice, 35% short right now, because again, it's 10x leverage. Okay, 10x is the max I go in terms of leverage, and I can show you guys that real quick. All right, here is my short right here. Okay, so here's my entry of the short. 74.34. Some of it I exited around 72.82. I still have half my position open, and I can, again, still ride that down even further. And then here's my other long trade where I have just a quarter of it remaining actually. My average exit has been around $7,300. I closed some around 7,200, some around 73.68, as you can see. So I have positions in both directions because I have two different accounts that I like to trade on. This way it allows me to hedge on both sides and trade on different time frames too. So as you can see, the long trade, I've been taking, I've taken the long since December 2000, or I'm sorry, December 18th. Okay, so that's been since over here, as you can see, right? And then my short, I only got into my short just a couple days ago, I think. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. Where did I get into a short? Okay, so yeah, Sunday. So that was basically December 29th, right? So that was basically around this top, and I've been holding it for about a little over 2 days now. So you can see how I process different time frames and trade on different time frames, and I help people understand exactly how I trade, how I set my stops, where I decide to take my profit, what kind of risk tolerance I have for each trade. Okay, I think where most traders fail is that they don't respect their stops, they don't respect the risk management. And I think that's something that we do best in our community is we heavily emphasize risk management, and we don't get into trades just because the market is pumping or dumping. We follow the basics of technicals and we trade off that. Okay, so one simple manner that I traded technicals was I bought the support right here and I sold this resistance right here. This is the simple rule that you want to follow is buy support, sell resistance, as they say, or sell resistance and then sell back your short into support. Okay, so if you don't follow simple rules like that, you're probably going to keep losing money consistently in this market, and you're going to hand it over to the professionals. Okay. Now, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so the 4-hour time frame, remember this week opened at around 73.83, and typically I like to keep a note of where exactly the Monday high was or the Monday open. So let's look where that is. Okay, so Monday was today's Wednesday, so 2 days ago, right? This is the Monday high, 73.84. Okay, this is again on Bybit exchange. It might differ $5 or $10 depending on which exchange you're on. So for the most part, I expect prices typically to cover the high of the Monday range, or sometimes even the open, and then follow through on to the downside. Okay, it's just something that I've noticed in Bitcoin, that the Monday high and typically even the weekly open, if the candles or the price action is too far away from where the weekly open is, the price tends to gravitate back towards the weekly open and then essentially resume the downtrend or whatever trend it's been in. Okay, so for the most part, what I'm expecting for price action to do is either try to climb back towards the weekly open. That's one option, and then potentially sell off again. All right, or okay, there's a big liquidity pool sitting in this area right here. This is all probably demand right here because, okay, remember this area right here created a low. This created a higher low. Now this is potentially another higher low. Okay, so if you want to long squeeze people out and grab a ton of liquidity, you push the prices down here, just below these two lows right here, and that's around, I think 7,000 flat and maybe, say 69.50, 69.25. So I could totally see a price, pushing back down there and then heading back up, maybe towards the weekly open or maybe even higher towards our targets that have been, waiting for my long above these highs right here. Okay, the November 29th high around 78.75 or so. Or, like I said, I mean, we could essentially just start dumping from here. But the way the price action is structured is, I don't see why we can't sort of tap that weekly open and then dump, or I don't also see why we can't go down to 6,900 or 6,950 or so and then go back up. Okay, I still do believe that we're going to be in this range for maybe a couple more days. This range of 7,000 and maybe $7,300, $7,400, and so there's good money to be made, in my opinion, in that range. Okay, let's check out the daily chart. All right, the daily looks decent. I mean, we haven't closed today's daily yet, but if this is how the daily is going to close, kind of like a little inside bar right here, that's going to be a pretty good candle for marking a potential reversal. Reversal as in, we might push back up to that Monday open, like I said, around 73.80 or so. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see if there's anything to talk about on the BitMEX chart. So we're gonna start changing the. So let's add in that January open. Okay. So let's see where January opened. All right. So let's go to monthly. And January is this candle right here. Okay, so the open was 71.67. Okay, so let's mark that out. All right, so we're gonna create a new marker. All right, 71.67. So let's mark that out. And the reason, like I've said before, the reason I like to mark out the monthly opens is because more often than not, price has tended to gravitate towards the monthly open, all right? And it kind of fluctuates and bounces up and down from it, okay? Here's, that December monthly open, as you can see, right? Look how many times, I mean, in December started right here, okay? So notice, out here, it touched it once, twice, 3 times, I mean, multiple times basically in, a stretch of days. And even over here, then 10, 15 days later, it touched it again and then got rejected. Okay, so the point is that the monthly open, whether you're coming from price action from under it like this, you'll tap it as resistance, even over here as resistance, or what you'll do is something like this, which is, say November monthly open right there is November open right around this area. You'll tap it as support, finally breaks down and then taps that same monthly open in November as resistance and then sells off. Okay, even over here, October, you can see October started right around here, resistance right there, resistance, breaks up from it, uses that as support, breaks down, resistance again, boom, breaks down again. Okay, so mark out this January monthly open and keep an eye on that, because obviously you can see, the case of the monthly opens has been pretty useful. Okay, so I'll be paying attention to that 71.67 marker. All right, and then on top of that, I mean, there's this sort of descending parallel channel that I see that's being created from this low, this high, this other low, and this other high. So I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of get maybe another tap up here at some point. Like I said, maybe after we dig into some more liquidity around 6,900 or 7,000 and then push back up. Okay. But aside from that, I mean, I still do believe that I still do believe that we have more of selling to do. I really don't believe the fact that we're done yet. Like I've said before, I've covered this many times, so I'll cover it one more time. All right, here's the weekly chart in Bitcoin. Okay, actually, maybe this is the wrong one. Let me see here. Here's the weekly analysis that I've done for Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know where it is now. Maybe it's over here. All right, let me search for this, you guys. Give me 1 second. Be patient. Let's see here. Okay, so here's that weekly chart. Okay, so like I've said before, I mean, if we start turning on that 200 moving average, right? Here's that 200 MA. that has historically been very useful for Bitcoin, as you can see, right? If we turn on that 200 weekly moving average, it's historically been, a moving average that has on the weekly bounced the price of Bitcoin. Okay, so you can see it once right there, twice, pushes off, and then third time right here in the December 2018 bear market, right? Bounces up and then takes off. So I still do believe that we're going to meet this moving average at some point in the coming, I don't know, month or two. I have no idea when it's going to be, but I still do believe that the last bit of consolidation was that 5,000 to 5,500 area, this blue block right here. So I do believe that there will be maybe a time in the next couple of weeks where price bounces in this blue block, meets this moving average that's coming up like this, and then price is going to start maybe its new next bull rally. Okay, but until then, it's hard to believe that we're going to essentially bounce from this area, which is let's see here. Let me see how I mapped it out. There's one way to look at this is, this is really the last block where price should be bouncing from. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. And then another way of looking at it is that, okay, let me see here. I have so many charts, so I apologize. Another way to look at it is, this area right here was, let me stretch this out a little bit further. Okay, so this area was clearly, support right here in 2019 May, right? Again, support right there. Okay, and then now that we've broken down from it, okay, and used it as resistance for multiple weeks, I don't see why we cannot sell off a little bit more, and that makes my 5,000 and 5,500 targets a little bit more attainable. Understanding, this chart on this weekly structure. Okay, so anyway, I mean, I'm still kind of a bear, until we find a good bottom, or at least rather we break above some key resistance levels. I mean, if you start seeing a weekly close above this resistance area, say around we get to about 8,000 or so, and then we come test the same area as support, then I would say, okay, then maybe we might be ready to take off further. But that's really not been the case. I mean, we've spent 7 weeks under this resistance now, So 7 weeks in this $7,000 region is probably not the best thing to give you that bullish, bullish market potential. Okay, what I still see is a more of a potential to sell off, especially catch those people who think that they longed right here and this was the bottom, or people who are perpetually longing right here and make them essentially feel the pain once price goes to the downside. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have in terms of Bitcoin coverage. Let's see here. People did want to have me go over some majors, so I'm going to go over ETH. All right, so here is Ethereum. Okay, so let's go to ETH on a daily time frame. Okay, actually, let's do maybe a weekly. There's a lot of data in the weekly chart. All right, I'm going to delete those things. All right, so for the most part, folks, what we see on the weekly in terms of ETH is the real major support is obviously this part where price bottomed in December 2018, and this was also the same area where ETH bottomed right here in May 2017, and then took off for that massive bull run. Okay, so keep an eye on that same $80, $82 level. All right, but for now, I mean, I guess one could make the argument that ETH is very close to finding a bottom. I don't know how you can make the argument. Let's see here. I mean, if we map this out kind of like this, I guess that's one way to look at it. This was prior support, support right there, and then this area became resistance. Used this as support again, and then took off. And I came back, hammered that support multiple times, broke it, and then now use it as resistance. I mean, I personally don't see why we can't, drop down to $80 or $82 again. Just to maybe find another bottom, or maybe even sweep these lows and then potentially take off. So I still do think that ETH has definitely not found its bottom. I think it may have a little bit more downside to go, and that kind of goes along with my Bitcoin theory of we've faced resistance in that key weekly time frame that I just showed you earlier around the 7,700 region. So if BTC is going to sell off some more, I mean, there's no doubt about it that Ethereum will as well. Okay. Um, let's see. I think people wanted me to cover Litecoin, so I'll do that. Oh, and by the way, okay, so going on smaller time frames, I do see that ETH pumped. Let's see here, like I guess ETH pumped a good 3% or so. Here's the thing, okay? You're always going to have these kinds of quick and fast pumps. You're not going to be able to catch these, but what you really need to realize is that you are still on an aggressive downtrend in ETH. Okay, so to me, bounces should be shorted unless you're scalping on maybe 15, 30-minute time frames, and you're a really good scalper. I personally wouldn't even touch it. There's no point. Okay, because ultimately, I mean, most people who are scalping these markets, they kind of just get their pockets cleaned. So here's the thing, right? You have the mini support right here. Support, breakdown, and then comes test it as resistance, resistance, and then big sell-off. Okay, so you're coming back to that same area as resistance again. I don't see why this isn't a shortable entry with a stop maybe above the high of this wick. And if you truly believe that ETH is going to break over this local resistance right here, okay, then I mean I would at least wait for this thing to break above, tap this as support, right, and then take off. But longing right here is very risky. Shorting right here is probably statistically the best bet. Okay, I mean that's just on the 30-minute time frame. On the 4-hour, I still don't. Again, I mean 4-hour you still have. Let me move this line to the minute chart. Okay, visibility. Turn this off. Turn this off. Okay, so here's the 4-hour chart. I mean, again, 4-hour chart, it's kind of abundantly clear that like this area was, clear support right here. This candle just boom, took it out, use it as resistance, resistance, resistance. I guess as per the 4-hour time frame, I mean, you do have a bit more upside towards, 135 or so. So I guess you could make that argument that, okay, maybe, this thing is going to push all the way up to about, 134, 135. So you could take the long based on that, place your stop just below this wick right here around 127, 128. So let's see what kind of risk-reward ratio that gives us. Okay. Let's see, if price is right there, all right, let's say your stop is right beneath this area, okay, and your target is right around, the highs of these wicks right here, high right there, rejection, 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 right? Your risk-to-reward ratio is 0.62. I mean, this is pretty terrible anyway, so I don't know why you would take this, right? But, okay, if you flip this around and say we take a short, all right, the say price, comes up to all the way into this area. Okay, so say you get an entry right around 134 or so. Okay, your stop is going to be just above this high of this wick right here. Right, and your first target is below this this bottom right here, this local bottom. Okay, your risk reward ratio is 1.89. That's pretty good. So you're risking $1 to make $1.89. Okay, your second area where price could potentially bottom is where this bottom, this whole cluster of bottoms. So you could take it even somewhere in the middle right there, right? That makes your risk to reward on a short 2.48. So even better, So you can see why shorting the chart based on the 30-minute time frame makes sense. Based on the 4-hour time frame makes much more sense. To be patient and wait up here. You can even short here, right? But then your stop will be up here. Okay, so you got to wait for good risk to reward, entries. All right, and then again, based on the daily time frame, I mean, all you see is, high, this lower high, lower high, lower high. I mean, you see the picture, right? And then even on the weekly time frame, I mean, all you've been doing is consistently since the June 2019 high, and there's that high, lower high, lower high, and keeps selling off. It's also broken the key support area right here around 157 or so, which was previous resistance, support right here took off, support, broke down, and then now uses it as resistance. So any given time frame that I just showed you, 30-minute, 4-hour, daily, weekly, it's telling you that the risk to reward ratio is more favorable to shorting, okay? So stop trying to catch the bottom on ETH and think that you're going to catch the next bull market, and ETH is going to take off to $100 or 200 or 400, whatever. Okay, just focus on what the price is showing you. Focus on the technicals, and you will not be sorry. Okay, so that's what I have for ETH. Let's see how LTC is doing. I mean, LTC looks pretty much the same to me. If I just draw a quick marker right there, this was like the previous support, and this is the last bit of consolidation that we had, or the bottom that LTC had found and then took off, right? So even LTC, I mean, you could see clearly right there that candle, that weekly candle, rejected that price and then sold off. But I don't see why LTC can't break down further. But again, if you want to be bullish, wait for the price to climb above this area and then maybe test it as support and then get ready for a push out. Buying here for longs is aggressively risky, and I don't see any reason why you should. Okay. People wanted me to look at Link as well, so I'll take a look at that. Let's see here. So, I mean, nothing special in Link. It looks like it may have found maybe a double bottom or so, kind of like this one and this one. So yeah, I mean, it might be ready to push up higher. But again, even in Link, right, like all you've done is really, created a high way out here in 2019, and this is a big sort of, lower high and then keep selling off. So if you really want to wait for Link, I mean, maybe wait for, say, even something simple as this. Check that out. Look at how many times, there's been a touch right there, resistance, oh, well, breaks up from that resistance, comes back to that same area as support, breaks down, uses that area as resistance. So LTC, ETH, Link, they all have the same structure as BTC, which is that they've all sort of broken below the key support levels from 2019 bull market. And I think they might be ready to sell off some more. That's just my personal opinion, okay? But not only is it a personal opinion, but the structure of the price action is pretty clear. It's abundantly clear that the key support levels that helped propel us in 2019 bull market, right, are broken, and they've actually now been used as resistance. So when support becomes resistance, I can't help but imagine that it's giving you a clear indication and a signal that we're going to probably sell off more. Okay, that's just how it is. That's how technicals work. Unless the technicals prove you wrong, and this becomes like a little reaccumulation period, and then you see a massive move up, and then test this area of support, and then you're ready to push out. But if that happens, who cares if you miss, a 10-15% move if you're going to start a big bull rally anyway, right? Who cares about catching the bottom? Catch the meat of the moves, and you'll make a ton of money in this market. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know, Link BTC is something that my community wanted me to cover, so I'll take a look at that. So here's Link BTC. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's lay out this marker right here. Okay, so same thing with Link BTC, right? Notice that this area was the previous consolidation in the October 2019, big bull move, right? In the BTC chart, that is. And now we basically come down to that same area as support right here, support and support. I mean, we've kind of hammered the support multiple times. So I don't see why this cannot break through, okay, and then break down further. So keep an eye on that. I really, find it hard to believe that alts are near their bottom and so is BTC, and we're ready to find the next bull market the way the market is structured. I'm not saying I'm in, denial that this is the bottom, but if this is the bottom, I have, it's hard for me to believe that the bottom is created in such an area where, we spent 7 weeks in that area and we've spent it, right under the key support level. So if it is the bottom, right, maybe expect maybe another week or two of sideways movement and then a big pushback up, okay? And then, maybe have it pull back a support or Link or Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then get ready for a new bull market, okay? So either way, if I'm longing for the next bull market, I'm waiting anyway. But right now, I'm playing, swing trades. I'm playing scalp trades, as you guys have seen. We've made some fantastic gains over the past couple weeks, couple months, actually pretty much in all of 2019, in my opinion. You can go back in this community, in this gains reviews channel, and you can see people's reviews. Um, People have made good money. I think the only problem with most people is that um, you know, everyone wants to sort of have a lottery ticket to trading, and they don't realize that it's an art, it's a skill, it's a craft that needs to be worked on and beat upon day by day. And you must follow proper risk management, set your stops properly, not get greedy, make sure your emotions are under control. So all those things sort of go into who you are as a trader, and if you forget those even one day, right, you'll pay the price, okay, and you'll pay pretty heavily. You'll probably lose the gains that you've made for the day, the week, maybe even the month, depending on how greedy you are. So take a look at these gains reviews, and if you find that our community is helpful, come join us for 2020. Come see what we have to offer. We have a technical analysis course that we provide, and that gives you 7 days in the Advantage side, or again, the Advantage subscription right there that gives you access to all the lock channels for a month. You can even join for 3 months or 6 months or a year. Those are actually discounted if you want to go check that out. And we also have the free side of the Discord, which is just community discussion right here. Not a whole lot happens in the free side, but that's because most of my time, my energy, my work goes into the Advantage side, because if you're good at something, make people pay for your skill, right? And I think most people are paying for that attention, for that communication, and for my analysis day by day, okay? And not only that, I mean, we're making some big changes in the Advantage side of the community, which is that we're starting to, we're going to start doing, two-a-day videos in terms of Bitcoin analysis. So you see this video, in the morning time, especially the U.S. time zone, but I'll start doing one in night as well. So this is helpful for the people in Asia, New Zealand, Australia, and Africa, and even in Europe, and so this way you get to see, how the day has progressed, And so on the Advantage side, that is what you get: 2 days or 2 videos a day, and then multiple analyses, through the day, and obviously the trade setups and everything that we provide, and most importantly, communication, fast communication, and what we're doing, day in and day out, and you get to have an open line of communication to me, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy my community. I hope you come join. I hope you have a wonderful start to the new year, and I hope to see you guys in Cryptosomniac, all right? Take care of yourself, and cheers.